Hi, Elle Ingalls here at ElleIngalls.com, pressure-free.com. And the topic today on Living Pressure Free with Elle is stress fat. So are you storing some stress fat on your body? Are you stockpiling it? That's a term that my client who was just working with me today, that's a term she came up with, stockpiling stress fat. Basically, we stockpile stress fat because our brain thinks that if we're in fight or flight all the time, that we've got to stockpile stress fat in case we can't get to food. And we need to make sure that certain parts of our body can operate. And fat is a really crucial food supply if we can't get actual food into our body. So, upper torso here, like right in here, that stress fat in the belly area, you're also building stress fat in your arteries when you bring it all here. That's why stress is called the silent killer. And I'm going to do, this is episode 600. I think I wrote that down. Episode 600. And I know I've done even more than those. I've made over 1,000 videos in the past 10 years, helping people with these issues. And, on my courses and here on Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere else that I do this. So yeah, episode 600, what is the stress fat? Well, we build it here because our body feels that if we can't get enough food, it's going to need these stores of fat to keep all of this alive. There's another place too, and that's right back in here. So right back between your shoulder blades, there's a spot. And you may think of it as, I think it's called the dowager's hump, that fatty sac there. And as people age and they move over, there's like this bunch of fat right back here. That's right at the bottom of your brainstem, right at the top of your spine. And so this is my theory. You build this fat here with the release of stress hormones, especially this one here gets really built up with glucocorticoids, the second flood of hormones. The first flood, adrenaline, brings fat to the center of your body here. It's building it in here in your torso area. So these two fatty areas are, again, if you were in survival mode and you couldn't get to food. Unfortunately, in the 21st century, we're just triggering stress hormones all the time. We're getting annoyed with traffic. We're getting annoyed because somebody's late. We're stressed because we're late. All these little tiny triggers are causing us to trigger the very same hormones that we're only supposed to use if we're under attack. So we're building this stress fat here, back here, and also in our arteries. And that is why stress is called the silent killer. It sneaks up on you. You might not even be realizing you're doing it. And even I work with a lot of athletes, as well as pretty much anybody can learn this pressure-free method with me. But a lot of athletes will build stress fat in their arteries and up in here, which is why you'll hear of like marathoners having heart attacks and things. It's because we're building stress fat in the very areas of our body here that are so critical. So when we can start to work that out, and even just something like heart palpitations or tightness in the chest. I had another client, hi Terry, by the way, so nice to see you, and Randy's here too. I have another client who just messaged me that she helped a woman on the spot, and these were both health educators, who was having chest pains, immediately go and use the pressure-free tools to have her gain control over what was going on with her heart palpitations and her chest pains. So anxiety attack, an anxiety attack is just all here, and it's just incredible what happens to your body if we could see inside. So when I first started using this pressure-free method and lost all this upper torso stress fat, I still remember very clearly when I got into the car, sat down, and this folded in instead of out. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was just like a miracle to me. And I thought, okay, if this fat is leaving here, then what's happening to my arteries? I really can't wait. One of my sons and I, actually a couple of my sons and I, want to create an actual lab where we start to do research and find out what's really going on for people with pressure free, and how it is saving them. We need to slay the silent killer, and the silent killer is the release of stress hormones. It's not just stress, because we're all going to have challenges and stressful situations that we have to deal with in our day. But whether or not we're actually releasing the hormones, that is what we have to stop. And that's what we do here at Pressure Free. So I hope that's helpful today. It gives you a little more understanding about these two areas where we build up fat. right between the shoulder blades here. By the way, that's called Cushing's disease if you have a lot of fat in that area. And it's, again, the responsible hormones are the glucocorticoids for building this fat sac here. And then the other one, the adrenaline, is pulling it right here. And cortisol actually expands fat cells too. Plus, you're messing with your digestion, so you're not actually digesting your food very well. So it's like 4 effects to why we build fat when we're stressed. And it's really because the fat's trying to save us. So we got to get control of our emotions. And I don't even like to use that word control. You will have a better emotional response to things when you don't trigger the stress hormones. That's the whole key. So becoming more emotionally resilient is what we do here. So wishing you a great pressure-free day. If you want to learn more, just go to speakwithelle.com. Let's book a call. If you have a group that needs a training or a workshop, I just booked a workshop to do with a large business here in Michigan. But I travel all over, and I'm happy to come to you and work with your group, speak at your conference, and help you, because we're on a big mission here, and the mission is to really help people not build that stress fat and not succumb to the silent killer. I guess I'm gonna say this too, because I think it's so impactful. Most CEOs, most people in charge are they're under a lot of pressure, and they're doing a lot of damage to their heart, and they usually they don't get the wake-up call. People don't talk about this, but I've done a ton of research on it. They don't get the wake-up call. The first heart attack usually takes them. So the first heart attack usually takes them. They don't get a second chance. My dad actually got a second chance. He had a heart attack. He survived the first one, but the second one took him. And so that's that sneaky silent killer. It's that fat building up in there, and you don't see it. You know, you have the outer symptoms of like high cholesterol, high triglycerides. You have high blood pressure, but what's really going on is that you're bringing a lot of fat to this part of your body, and it's messing with you. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that explains this little area too, because someone was asking me about that recently, the area right between the shoulder blades that's called Cushing's disease, when you have a lot of fat there. And that's that fatty sac that develops when you trigger fight or flight over and over again, and it just keeps building there. So wishing you a great pressure-free night. Again, connect at speakwithelle.com or go to my website, elleingles.com. Have a good one. Bye.